Hello students, let's learn math subject grade 9 chapter 14. Chapter name is statistics. Now if you observe this data, these are marks obtained by 10 students. Right? One student has got 55, one student has got 36 in math subject, and this type of data which is written is called raw data. Now in this you can find out which is the maximum score and which is the minimum score. Yes, you can find out the maximum is 95 and the minimum is 25. It takes a little bit time to check which were the maximum and the minimum scores. Now if we arrange this in ascending order, it will be little bit easy for us to determine the highest and the lowest scores. Now if you take the difference between the highest and the lowest values in this data, it is called a range of data. So the range of this will be 95 minus 25, that is 70. So 70 is the range. Now if you take another example, this is also a classroom of 30 students where marks are obtained out of 100. This is 10 out of 100, 20 out of 100, 36 out of 100. If you carefully observe in this, there are 4 students who have got marks 70 out of 100. So if we write the frequency of 70 marks is how much? Is 4. That means 4 children have got 70 marks. So the frequency of 70 is 4. And we can write this in this type of fashion, which is very easy to understand. 50, 3 students got, 2 students got 88, 3 students got 92, in this fashion. Now this is called an ungrouped frequency. This is not grouped frequency, right? It is just a distribution table, right? 10 marks were obtained by 1 student. 36 marks were obtained by 3 students, right? So this is not a grouped one. This can be more further refined way of writing. It can consider, you can consider this as one class. For example, between 10 to 40 is one class, 41 to 50 is another class, like this. So let's see one more example in which a class is defined. These are the plants which were planted. Okay. Number of plants survived between numbers 20 to 29. How many plants survived? 1, 2, 3 lines are there. So 3 is the frequency of 20 to 29. Similarly 14 is the frequency of 30 to 39. Right? So this was which was telling about the class. This is the lower class limit, this is the upper class limit. Now presenting the data in this form, it will condense the data, right? You will not have much numbers to write, and it will enable us to focus on certain important features. And this is called group frequency distribution table. In this table, these are the weights of children and these are the number of students. Like weight 31 kg to 35 kg, there are 9 students in that. 36 kg to 40 kg, there are 5 students in that. Now suppose if 2 students are admitted whose weight is 35.5 and other weight is 40.5, so where you will add them, where you will place them? there is no place to add them. So we have to change this limits. So what we will do, we will consider this first class. The upper limit is 35, lower limit is 31, and here the lower limit is 36, upper limit is 40. So what we will do, for this 31 to 40, this will be the lower limit, okay, and the upper limit will be how much? 40. If you take these two, the lower limit is this, upper limit is this. Now if you take these two classes, 31 and 35, the lower limit of 31 and 35 is 31, and upper limit of 36 and 40 is 40. So if you subtract the difference of this lower limit and upper limit 35, this is the lower limit 35, this is the upper limit, that is the lower limit is 36, upper limit is 35. So if you minus, you will get the value of 1. Now half of that will be given to the lower limit and half of that will be given to the upper limit, right? Here this half will be subtracted from this and it will be added to this. Same way it will be subtracted from this, it will be added to this. Same way we have to do, and after doing that, what we will get? We will get the revised classes. First it was 31 to 35, now we will get 30.5 to 35.5, right? We have subtracted 0.5 from the lower limit and added 0.5 to the upper limit. Now for understanding this better, let's solve exercise 14.2. We'll solve the first one. It says that these are the blood groups of 30 students of class 8. The first student has A blood group, the other student has B blood group, third student has O blood group, like this. All have been written. So how will we write this? We'll write this systematically. Let's see how many types of blood groups are there. A is there, B, 1, 2, 3 types, 4 types. Total 4 types of blood groups are there. So we'll group them accordingly. So first of all, we'll write the blood groups, type of blood groups. They were A, B, AB and O. Now let's see how many number of students have blood group A. We'll count them. The blood group A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Total 9 children have blood group A. So similarly, in this fashion, we have counted blood group with B, 6 students have, and AB blood group only 3 students have, and 12 students have O blood group. Now let's see, the total should work out to 30 students as it was given in the question. This is the check. So the question asked is, represent this data in the form of a frequency distribution table. Now this is the frequency, right? Frequency distribution table. Second one, which is the most common? Which is the most common? Most common, you can say, how many students have the maximum number of students having blood group O is 12. Maximum number of students having blood group A is 9. So the maximum number is 12. So the most common is O. Okay. So we will write out that out of the 4 groups, O blood group is most common. One more thing they have asked is which is the rarest blood group. Rarest means the less number of students having that blood group is termed as the rarest. So here the less number is 3. So you can write down that the rarest blood group is AB. Thus we have solved this question. Now let's solve sum number 5. It says that a study was conducted to find out the concentration of sulfur dioxide in air in parts per million of a certain city. The data obtained for 30 days is as follows. Suppose the first day it was recorded as 0.03, second day it was recorded as 0.08. Like this, for the 30 days the results were noted down, and from this we have to find out what they've asked. Make a group frequency distribution table for this data with class intervals as 0.00 to 0.04 and 0.04 to 0.08 and so on. This is the hint which they have given, and we have to find out how many days was the concentration of sulfur dioxide more than 0.11 parts per million. Start solving that 5 number. First, the column comes of concentration of sulfur dioxide, that is in ppm, parts per million, that is a unit, and here these are the number of days, that is the frequency. Now they had given you have to start from 0.00 to 0.04. This hint they have given. Here, so we will group them. The data which is between 0.00 to 0.04 will fall in this group. The data which is in between 0.04 to 0.08 will fall in this group. Let's see how to do it. Now, if you observe carefully, 0.03 is between this, so it will fall in this group. So let's count. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. And this is the fourth one. Now here if you observe carefully that we have not considered 0.04 in this first group, right? We have considered the number lesser than this. See, this is first, then this is second, this is third, and this is fourth. This 0.04 will be considered in the second group, right? Lower limit. Like this 0.04 and 0.08. How many are there between them? We will count. We will count this. The higher limit is 0.07. You have to count up to that. Okay. So this will not be counted. This will also not be counted. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This will also not be counted. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6, 7, 8 and 9. So there are 9. So we will write it down. In this there were 4. Between 0.04 to 0.08 were 9. Similarly 0.08 to 0.12. We are increasing this by 0.04. So this will become 0.12 to 0.16, 0.04, 0.16 to 0.20 and 0.2 to 0.24. Now we have counted that, and this comes around 9. This is 2, this is 4, and result between 0.2 to 0.24 is 2. When we add, this should come out around 30 days. So now they had asked in which day the concentration was more than 0.11. So 0.11 is, how will count 0.11? This is more than 0.11. Okay. So 2 plus 4 plus 2, that is equal to 8. So we will write down, in 8 days the concentration of sulfur dioxide was more than 0.11 ppm. They asked in how many days was the concentration more than 0.11. So more than 0.11 is this, this and this. So all you have to add, right? Now let's study a bar graph. In earlier classes you have learned about this graph. These are called bar graphs. These rectangular boxes are called bars, and they are drawn on the x-axis, where the width of these bars is equal. And this bar graph is a pictorial representation of this data. Like in the month of January, how many students were born? 3 students. These are the months of the birth, and these are the y-axis, number of students is plotted. In the month of May, you can say 5 students were born, right? So this is easy method for identifying. In the exam, they will give this table, like this table, and they will tell you to draw bar graph from this data which is available. So how will we draw? We will represent these heads on the x-axis and this expenditure which is in rupees on the y-axis. So how will it look? It will look like this. For grocery, we have spent 4,000 rupees. It is in 1,000 rupees. Rent, we have spent 5,000 rupees. Like this. we'll have to plot. Now let's see about histogram. What is histogram? This is also this is like also bar graph, but it is for continuous class intervals. 30.5 to 35.5, this is one class interval, and from where it ends, it will start from the same number, 35.5 to 40.5, 40.5 to 45.5. So this is a fixed interval, okay, and the number of, this is the frequency, right? So in this there is a total 36 students in one class, in which the weights of them are written. 9 students have weight between 30.5 to 35.5. 15 students weigh between 40.5 to 45.5. So it will be represented in this form. It will start from 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 40.5. There will be no gaps in between. Here in this we had seen there are gaps, right? For grocery, between grocery and rent there is a gap. So if you observe carefully, there is no gap over here, since the class intervals is continuous. This looks like a solid figure. So this is called a histogram. Now you understood the difference between histogram and a graph. Now we will try to solve this example 7 which is given. It says that a teacher wanted to analyze the performance of 2 sections of students in maths test of 100 marks. Total marks were 100. Looking at their performance, she found that a few students got under 20 marks and a few got 70 marks or above. So she decided to group them into intervals of varying sizes. For example, 0 to 20, 20 to 30 and so on, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Then she formed the following table. First we will have to form this table. Between 0 to 20, 7 students had got marks, 10 students had got marks between 20 to 30. Okay, 0 to 20, 20 to 30. If you see carefully, observe the interval between this is 10. 30 minus 20 is 10, 40 minus 30 is 10. But here in the first case the interval is 20, 20 minus 0 is 20. Okay, and in this also the interval is 70 above, that means the total marks is 100. So 100 minus 70 is 30, the class interval is 30. So the figure will look like this, histogram will look like this, but this graph is giving a wrong picture. This is not actually showing the number of students. So now to correct this, what we will do, the marks column will remain same, frequency you can't change. Now if you remember, I have told you the difference between the lower limit and the upper limit is 20 over here, and from 70 to 100 the interval is 30. So we will have to distribute the width of that histogram equally, the bars of the histogram. So for that what we will do, we will divide the frequency divided by the class interval and into the common interval which you want. Here the common interval is 10. Okay, so 20 we will have to make it to 10, and 30 the width of the column which is having 30 class interval, we have to change it to 10. So frequency divided by class interval into the class interval which we want. So if you solve this, it will be 2.67. Now whatever values you have got, these are the students per 10 marks interval. Now if you join the upper part of these rectangles with line segments, you have to take the center of this, and you have to join the all midpoints. We will get a polygon, right? When we join the midpoints of all these rectangles, this. So the last line segment will be joined at, we'll assume that there is a frequency after 60.5, so we will join that to the x-axis, right? In the same way, we will start before the interval 30.5. There is one characteristics of this frequency polygon. This is a frequency polygon. You need not draw these histograms. You can directly also draw this polygon. The midpoint of these class intervals, these midpoints, what are these called? They are called class marks, right? Now to find out the class mark of this class interval, what you will do, you will add the lower limit to the upper limit and we will divide that by 2. So we will get the class mark. To understand this better, we will solve this example 9. In a city, the weekly observation made in a study on the cost of living index are given in following table. This is the cost of living index. For 5 weeks you require rupees 140 to 150, like this. Okay, the more number of weeks you stay, the cost will increase. So for 20 weeks the cost of living is 160 to 170. This is not rupees, this is the index. These are only numbers. Now what we will do, we have to draw a frequency polygon for the data without constructing a histogram. No need to construct that histogram, means that bar graphs, no need, directly we have to draw. So first we will find out the class mark of this. The lower limit is 140, upper limit is 150. So when you add these two and divide by 2, you will get the class mark. So we have divided all and we have got the class mark, right? Frequency will not change, it will remain the same. Now when we have to draw a, if you carefully observe, the class mark is in the interval of 10. So you have to minus 10 from 145. That will be the start point of the histogram. So you have to start from 135. But in this case they have not asked to draw the histograms, we have to draw the frequency polygon. So directly we will start from 135 and we will join all these points which we have marked, right? For 145 the frequency is 5. On y-axis we have the number of weeks, on the x-axis we have the cost of living index. So when we join this, we have a closed figure and it is called a frequency polygon.